Hello and welcome to Designing with Casual Elegance. This is a show where I like to bring practical ideas for you to create new looks in your home. So today's show is going to be about reupholstering. I have a special guest, Miss Ashley Salmons from Joe Ellis Upholstery and Fabric. And she is also a designer. You can find her there several days a week. If you have difficult questions. And first, I'd like Ashley to say a few words about herself, her background.
Hi, well, as she said, I'm Ashley Salmons, and I'm a designer at Joe Ellis Upholstery and Fabrics in Bentonville. I actually am originally from Fort Smith, where my mother and I owned an interior store for about 13 years. I then got married, moved to Northwest Arkansas, and I've been working as an independent designer here for 12 years. But simultaneously, for 10 of those years, I've also worked at Joe Ellis Upholstery part-time, helping their clients select fabrics for their furniture projects.
Which is great. You've helped me quite a bit.
Yeah, we've enjoyed working together. Yeah.
Oh, the first thing we're going to talk about is this beautiful chair. I found it several years ago for $50 in Hermann, Missouri. Probably never have that opportunity again. Right. So when I got it, it was its original fabric, which was a dark blue tapestry. And I took it down. It actually had horsehair filling. So I know it was a really old chair. I believe the frame is walnut. I thought I would refinish it myself, but that didn't happen. Yeah. So I took it to my refinisher. He took care of it. So when somebody is going to reupholster a piece, if they do want to paint or refinish, they do that before?
Typically, it's better to do that before because you don't want to get any stain or paint on the new material that you're putting on the chair. We don't actually do that at the upholstery shop. We just do the upholstery, but we do have people we can recommend to help you with that. Or you can take it to, if you have someone that you know that does that. But yeah, usually it's better to do that first, like I say, because you don't want to take a chance on getting stain on your new material. So
yeah, this wouldn't look real pretty on this.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
When I brought this chair to Joe Ellis, it was nothing but a frame. Had its spring seat. This little decorative piece down here, I had in my hand. And this was just a frame going around, nothing in it.
There wasn't much there.
No.
Yeah.
So Ashley and I figured out where we wanted the design. This is a very long repeat of this particular fabric. It's 72 inches, meaning from the top of your little palms there down to the next repeat of that is 72 inches. So I decided this is what I wanted to feature on the back. And then Ashley helped me select this beautiful solid coral and this wonderful buffalo check on the back. The other thing, to make it stand out a little bit more, we took the solid and did contrast welt cord.
Right.
You know, and I did talk about, this is a spring cushion. And I think we have a picture of a sofa that shows the inside of a before and then after.
Right. It's an antique sofa that we redid for someone, and the whole inside had to be redone with the springs. All the springs needed to be retied. There's a lot of work that goes under the upholstery, the actual fabric, that most people don't recognize. It's really a craft, and we're lucky enough to have some very talented people working on our team that know how to fix the antique pieces on the inside, not just make them look beautiful on the outside.
Yeah. Okay, so the things when you're selecting fabric, like I said, this is a very long repeat. A lot of fabrics, I mean, that's unusual. Generally, they're not.
Right.
As long, and you don't have as many opportunities to select a different scene. So, great fabric. It's an Anna French, which I love.
Right.
And we're going to talk about all the different fabrics that we have here. Starting off with our toile.
Yes, so there's a variety of upholstery fabrics. It's very important to think about what kind of fabric you're choosing for the piece that you're putting it on. There's pieces that you can use a fabric that's less durable if it's just more for looks, or if it's just an antique chair that sits over and looks pretty. But if it's an everyday piece, you want to make sure that it is a well-constructed fabric. And that doesn't mean that you can't use an embroidery or a velvet. You just want to make sure that the abrasion ratings are such that they're, appropriate for the piece that you're using on, for the wear that that piece will get.
And that's the Weisenbeck?
Yes, so
Weisenbeck.
there are two methods that they use to test fabric durability. The first one is called the Weisenbeck double rubs test. Most of you have maybe heard the term double rubs. That is the one that is more widely used in the U.S., and that's really what we rely on most at the upholstery shop. Typically, you want a fabric to have a rating of 15,000 to 30,000 double rubs for heavy-duty residential upholstery. If it's lower than 15,000, it could be all right for upholstery, but it would need to be for just a medium or light-use piece.
Right, something you're not going to necessarily sit on every day.
Right,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, well, our first is a lightweight, I don't know if it's 100% cotton, but,
I believe it's a cotton, yes.
and I don't know what the rubs are on that, but I love toiles.
I do
think they're
too.
classic.
Yes.
And then our second one is actually a velvet.
Right, this is a poly velvet, and so a lot of people are familiar with the like grandma's velvet that you weren't allowed to sit on, and you don't want to spill on it. This is 100% poly velvet. It's 100,000 double rubs, which is basically like double commercial grade on the durability. So you can have velvet on your everyday pieces. You just want to make sure that you pick the right one.
Okay, and then this, which you did mention,
Right.
is an upholstery
Right.
embroidery.
This is actually an embroidery. Most people think embroideries can only be used for bedding or drapery, and many of them that is the case because they are thinner materials and they don't have the abrasion rating. This one, however, does have a high abrasion rating. I believe it's a 50,000 double rub, believe it or not. But it is, and part of it is the base cloth that they put it on that makes the difference. But the Weisenbeck test, the double rubs, basically what they do to test the material is they take an abrasive piece of fabric and they swipe back and forth over the fabric that they're testing. And they do that until 2 threads break or the pile starts wearing down, depending on what type of fabric it is. And that is how they get that rating. And that's to simulate wear, basically, if someone's sitting back and forth on a piece.
Up and down and just,
Right.
wow. Well, that is a beautiful fabric. I mean, I could see that made up in many things, draperies and wow.
It is pretty. There's some beautiful ones. So just have to check the rating and we can use it on your chair. So
Yeah, because you have not only all of these beautiful in-stock fabrics, but fabric books coming out the wazoo.
yes, we have an entire room full of special order fabric books. So if we don't have something in stock that you like for your project, we can order pretty much anything, including leathers, faux leathers. We can even do the faux fur upholstery.
Ooh.
So yeah, there's a lot
That'd
to
be kind of
choose
fun.
from.
How about a faux fur animal print?
It's fun. Now the workroom gets a little wily during that. There's fur everywhere, but we have upholstered a couple of chairs, like the little pom-pom kind of chairs with the fur, and it's really fun. So yeah.
Okay, our next one is a woven? Or
This is a woven, and wovens are usually structurally very good. They're a little bit better typically if you have pets, as long as it's a very tight weave. You just don't want to have an open weave where it might be stretchy or a pet's claws might get in there. This one is not only a woven, but this is actually an indoor-outdoor, believe it or not. And many people, because they're now making indoor-outdoors that look like normal upholstery fabrics, are using them inside because of the cleanability.
Well, this is so soft. I can't
Right.
believe it because a lot
Yeah.
of outdoor fabrics
Right.
are really stiff.
Right.
You know,
So
and-
this is a nice one that you could use inside, but it also has the stain resistance, and so yeah.
It'd be really pretty on white outdoor furniture.
Yes, it would.
Or lime green.
Yeah. Or on your indoor club chair, it would be beautiful. So
Yeah.
either way.
Well, and durable because when I did chairs in my living room, I actually used outdoor fabric because I have one very big child in my house.
Yeah. Everyone has
So-
one. Yes. Yes.
It's like, okay, he lives in his house.
Right.
So I am going to do the best that I can
Right.
and not have to worry about
Right.
it. Good. And then this is just a wonderful accent. Let's
Right.
say if you did one of the blue solids on a sofa or a chair, and you could actually do this as a welt cord, or pillows.
Yeah, it would be beautiful for pillows, and a lot of the prints or screen prints are better for pillows, bedding, things like that you're not going to be sitting on, and the design will last longer that way. But we do offer a lot of those, and a lot of times, even just a pillow and a print can really add a lot of color to your room and give you
Yes.
opportunities to bring in other accent colors.
Oh yeah, you could go into drapes in a beautiful lime green or
sure,
little
yeah.
valance.
Right.
And again, use a decorative trim, and we have
Yes.
a few samples over here.
Yes, we do.
You know, well, I'll let you explain the GIMP
Okay.
because
So, GIMP is a trim that you probably have seen if you have any antique furniture. This is how they used to trim out a lot of the antique furniture. And a lot of people bring us their heirloom pieces still, like Grandma's rocker, and they want it redone and they want it to look like Grandma had it. So we carry these trims in a variety of colors so that if you want to restore your piece like Grandma had it, we can still do this. It's also just a nice little decorative accent on bedding or drapes, you know, if you just want something simple.
yeah, and
So
usually
that's one option.
on an antique piece, you'll see it around the bottom.
Right. It typically goes
And-
around the base or around the back. If it frames out your fabric,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, and I'm sure it hides something too, like
Sometimes-
staples.
Sometimes it does. Yeah, sometimes it hides staples. Sometimes it's used in combination with nail heads. It just depends on the piece. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And then of course we have lip cord,
Right.
which this could have been used, or a lip cord. You have it open here. Oh, it's pinned. It has a lip on the cording,
Right.
so that when you attach it,
So it can be sewn
you
in.
have yes. So something like this could have been used on the back of this chair instead of using the fabric and making the
Right.
welt cord.
Right. If you want something more decorative, there's many lip cords. They're also good for pillows. They can be sewn into pillows on the edge to do a decorative edge. But yes, they can also be sewn in on the edge of your furniture instead of a welt cord.
Okay, and brush fringe.
Yes.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, brush fringe, you know, some people think brush fringe is out, but actually brush fringe is still popular if it's used in the right place. And you can see in upholstery, yeah, we use it actually once in a while on cushions just to give a little extra fun to the piece.
Yeah.
Just a little extra detail. And then a lot of people still use them on pillows just for a different accent around the edges. So,
And to add a contrast color.
Right.
Yeah, I love it used
Yeah.
this way. And there again, it personalizes it, gives it character, as I say over and over again.
Yeah.
Make your house yours.
Right.
The other thing we have on this chair, unlike this has a tight seat.
Right.
This has a box cushion.
yes.
And
Yes. So this chair actually, because these cushions are loose, this is actually just sewing. This is not actual upholstery.
Right.
So sewing is a little bit different than actually upholstering it onto the chair. But yes, cushions we do as well, and we do them all the time.
so,
Yes, so this is this is what the inside of the cushion looks like. Typically, when you have a boxed cushion like this, there'll be a piece of foam. And you want a good density foam so that it stays firm and you don't sink in it. And then typically we put a batting wrap around it, and that just gives it a little extra softness and loft so that it doesn't feel like a brick that you're sitting on, basically. So, because no one wants to sit on a brick.
no.
So,
Yeah,
right,
be like the park bench.
right.
And then we have another wonderful little trim around the bottom. And this is your chair,
This
Ashley.
is my personal chair that Joe did for me a few years ago. And again, this was a flea market find. It was a little $50 old Bombay Company chair. It did not originally have a skirt. And I had Joe add a skirt because I wanted it to be a little more feminine. And then I did have that trim. That particular
just
style
love
trim
this.
is called a tape. And it's a flat trim, so it's just applied flat. It could be sewn or glued on.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
And then pillows, I think we can fit in real quickly
Okay.
before a break.
There's several
Because
different
you
kinds
do
of
pillows.
Yes, we do pillow covers. And a lot of people want to add decorative pillows to their upholstery project, and that's not a problem. We do it all the time. We have different inserts that you can purchase from us. We have the 1090 down blends. We have a faux down, which is my personal favorite right now because it feels soft like down, but it rebounds, so you're not fluffing all the time, which is really nice. And yes, or if you have your own inserts and you just want new covers, we can just make you a new cover and you can bring us your inserts. So.
Okay, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about performance fabrics and outdoor fabrics. Hi, and welcome back. I still have Ashley Salmons here, and we are going to talk about outdoor fabrics and performance fabrics. But first, we're going to start with leather. We haven't touched on that yet.
No, we haven't, and we do a lot of projects in leather. So we actually can order real leather hides in lots of different varieties, grades, grains. We can also order performance leathers. They make performance real leathers now with Krypton coating, so you can actually use them, not worry about them. We can order, leathers are sold in the whole hide, so you buy a whole hide, so they're figured a little differently when we're figuring yardage for those projects. Faux leathers have also been very popular lately because they are a lot less expensive than the real leathers. And they're definitely more cleanable, just in general, unless you do buy one of the performance leathers. This one that I brought today is actually a breathable faux leather. This is kind of a new thing that they're doing now. They're putting, basically faux leathers used to be just for commercial use. They all had the heavy white backing. It's the ones you stick to when you go to the doctor's office. This is a breathable collection that they've done specifically for residential projects. And what they've done is they've put a different backing on it that's breathable. So when you sit on it, you don't stick to it. It's got more temperature control. I think she's got the book there with a lot of different varieties.
We have so many colors.
Right. Lots to choose from. And typically they run about half of what real leather runs. So if you like the look of leather but you are on a budget, then this would be a good option for you. Or if you have kids or pets and you just want something very cleanable and durable, they have very high durability. Most of them are very fade resistant, water resistant. You just clean them with regular soap and water, which is fantastic. So
I was going to try and find one of the breathables that might look a lot like what we have here. That's a little darker, but it is distressed.
Right, there are a lot that really do look like real leather, so you don't have to sacrifice the look to do a faux anymore. They've come a long way with the faux leathers, but of course the real leathers are still really nice. They have that smell, which it's unmistakable, the smell of real leather. I think we even have a picture of one of the chairs that we did in a real leather hide that's similar to this color, before and after. Anyway, so if you have a chair that maybe you've had a long time and you really love the leather on it, we can get you a hide like this that is the distressed leather and give you that look right back, but without the rips in it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then this is your breathable.
Right, this is a breathable option. This is in the navy, but like I say, it comes in lots of different colors. So.
Yes, as we saw. The other thing we were going to talk about are performance fabrics.
Right.
So if you have high traffic area or things that you are sitting on every day, a performance fabric or a revolution fabric would work great. So first let's talk about performance.
Right, performance fabrics are definitely becoming more popular, and again, kind of like the faux leathers, they used to be more for commercial use, and so they made them more commercial looking. So that's what, hotels, doctor's offices, things like that. They finally figured out that people want that in their own homes as well. Especially if you have a lot of kids or pets and you really live in your house. You can have a light colored fabric. This one right here is a Krypton. Krypton is a trademarked finish that they put on fabrics to make it more stain resistant, fade resistant, cleanable, and then most of these are commercial grade durability. The bottom one is a Revolution fabric. That's also a trademarked name.
Yeah.
The Revolution fabrics are actually even, believe it or not, they are bleach cleanable with up to a 10% bleach solution, even the colors. So that's amazing. This is how they advertise it. So if you have a child with Cheeto fingers, then this is the fabric for you. It's really good for banquet seating and kitchens, bar stools, things like that, if you want a real fabric that you can clean.
Yeah, and it tells on the back, stain resistant for life and 100% woven in the U.S. Just a lot of good information that you can read if you're going to consider one of these fabrics. And here again, there is lots. Okay, it's a book, or I'm not sure what you call it, of the Revolution fabrics. And as you can see, they do have a lot of different colors and patterns.
Yeah, the Revolution fabrics are fantastic. They're bleach cleanable with up to 10% bleach solution, even on the colored ones. But you can also do a white in this, which, people that have kids sometimes think they can't do white, but you can clean these. We actually had a lady that we ordered her a separate sample. She took it home, smashed blueberries all over it, and it all came out. So she ordered it, needless to say. But yeah, there's lots to choose from, and we have an entire wall of performance fabrics and books at Ellis Fabrics. So if you want to come in and talk to us about your project, we're happy to help you find the right performance fabric for your project.
Okay, and the one thing that we haven't talked about that is probably the most critical is how do you determine whether or not a piece should be reupholstered or shall we buy a new one?
That's a really good question, Susan. So basically, the first question we typically get when we get a phone call is, I have this chair and I wondered if I should reupholster it. Typically, there are several factors that go into making that decision. The first one, and the most obvious, is if it's an heirloom piece. If this was grandma's rocker or my mom's chair that I inherited, those are pieces that have sentimental value that can't be replaced. So obviously, we would like to do those pieces for you, and we can quote those for you. The most important thing, though, just with normal furniture and deciding if you're going to reupholster is the frame still good and sturdy? Pretty much everything else on the chair can be replaced if the frame is good. We can replace springs and foam and webbing, and all of that can be fixed. Typically, if your frame has any squeaking or if you feel some give when you sit down, probably not in the best shape. You might be able to have the frame repaired by a carpenter. We do not do that at the store, but most of the time that's how you would decide if you wanted to have a piece reupholstered.
If it means that much and they really want it repaired, there are a couple really good people around town who that's all they do is repair and refinish.
Yes.
So
and we work with a lot of those people. Right. We do work with a lot of those people. And like I say, if you have a piece that really means something to you, it would probably be worth making that investment in the piece. You just have to make that decision for yourself. But we're always happy to give you a quote on anything, and then you can make that decision. So
good. Well, then let's move on to outdoor fabrics.
Yes. It is that season.
Yes, it is.
It is the outdoor season.
So these first three and this beautiful fabric are all outdoor.
Yes, they are. The top one is a Sunbrella outdoor, and a lot of people are familiar with the term Sunbrella. It's probably the oldest name and the most recognized name in the outdoor fabric industry. However, almost everyone has an outdoor fabric now. Almost every fabric house has their own outdoor fabric line. And honestly, most of them are comparable to Sunbrella as far as the light fastness, which is the fadeability, and the durability. We also, though, have this type of indoor-outdoor, which you see a lot. This is actually a screen print. This we do not recommend be put in full weather because they do fade a little faster because the design is just printed on top of the fabric. It's great for pillows. You can use it in a covered outdoor area or like a screened-in porch. They're great for that because they're still moisture resistant. But yeah, there's a lot to choose from there. And then we have the wovens.
Well, and isn't the big difference that, like the Sunbrella is solution dyed?
Yes.
So it's dyed before it's woven?
Yes, and
or-
it's dyed all the way through, which you can see the color is on both sides, whereas on the screen print, the color's just on the top.
Yeah, so
and
it's
that
just
does make a
applied.
difference, right?
Yeah.
Right, if it's dyed all the way through. And that's why the screen prints are a little bit less expensive and the solution dyed are more. And then these two are wovens. This is a more tightly woven. This is actually a reversible indoor-outdoor, so we have the white background, so you can use one or the other, either side. This one is a little bit more open weave, and this would probably be better for pillows and things like that. We do have some outdoor pillow inserts that specifically have like a cover that is water resistant, so that if you do a more open weave indoor-outdoor fabric, you don't have to worry about the moisture getting in and mildewing the inside of your pillow. This is an example here, and this is our faux down, so it actually feels just like the faux down normal pillow insert, but it has a more protective cover that's waterproof, and that's what we would recommend for your outdoor pillows.
And I know that when you're doing outdoor cushions, I don't know if you use different foam or if it's just a Dacron.
Typically, you don't need to use a different foam for outdoor cushions because the outdoor fabric does the work of keeping the water out. However, if you do a more open weave or a more porous fabric, then yes, there is specific foam for outdoor furniture. It just costs more. So unless you really need it, we don't really recommend that, unless, like I say, you choose a more open weave fabric.
Foam is so expensive.
Yes.
It has gone up. Well, every time
Yes.
oil goes up.
Right. A
Foam
lot of
and
people
fabrics
are
go
not
up.
aware that foam is a petroleum product.
Right.
So when gas is high, foam is high.
Yeah.
And so foam is a very expensive part of the project, so it's very important to determine if you need new foam in a piece before ordering that automatically.
Right.
Right.
Well, and over here we have a couple of pieces. This is all outdoor fabrics.
Right. This is outdoor fabric here that we've made. This is a back cushion that we've done the sewn through buttons in. And the cushion here, we actually used contrast piping in this fabric. And it looks different there because piping is always cut on the bias. So it's cut at a slant, and that's done on purpose to make it a tougher edge so it wears better for you. These are two examples of pillows in the outdoor fabric. This one has a single piping around it, and piping or welt is just basically we take like a rope type cord and it's covered with the fabric, and that's how we make that cord. This one also has a zipper, kind of a hidden zipper in the bottom, so if you ever need to take the covers off and clean them more than just dusting. This one is just this is just a knife edge pillow that we've just closed by hand. If you don't want to mess with the zipper, we can do it that way. So lots of options.
Good. Do you have this fabric in the store? Or is this a special
That
order?
is a special order fabric, but I believe it is still available, and it's really fun. It's got lots of great colors in it, so lots of great accent colors
I
there.
love the colors in this.
It's
I
really
would
pretty.
do this in
There's a lot to
heartbeat.
choose from. There's a lot more in outdoor than there used to be, so yeah.
And then we have this other charming little bench.
Yes, the little child's
child-
wicker sofa.
Yes.
Yeah, we did a cushion out of vinyl for that, and that one is one of the vinyls with the white backing. That does make it a lot more water resistant. And there are some faux leathers and vinyls that are rated for marine, like for boats and things, which are great for your outdoor furniture. They're just wipeable, so it makes it easy care, especially with kids. So
Yeah, which is great because that is for a 3-year-old.
yes.
And they call her a whirling dervish, so she probably
Yes.
isn't going to sit on it.
Yes.
But this vinyl is very soft.
It is very soft, and we just did a 1-inch pad in there. That's just like actually considered sort of like a chair pad. And we did the ties on the back, which you can tie, and you may want to tie them extra tight for her. And we can also do, if you don't like ties, we can also do a Velcro loop if you need something a little stronger. So again, lots of options with outdoor cushions.
Well, and here again, you've got a boxed cushion, and then our little bench is
Right.
a knife edge.
Right.
So, you've got your welt cord.
Just a single
just a
piping there.
single-
Right, just a single piping there. And for some pieces, that's all you need. A box cushion on that piece would have been just too large, too overscale for that. So, yeah.
Well, and who knows what she'd do with it.
Right, right, exactly. Also a good
Oh.
point.
Okay, some other things that we can talk about is tufting.
Right. Diamond tufting is still very popular. This is actually a sample headboard because we actually build headboards. We can make a lot of different styles. You can send a picture and usually we can build it. This one has the diamond tufting and then
Yeah.
also has ruching around the edge.
Can we just
Yeah, we can lift it up if you want
so we
or
can
pull it
show?
out. We can set this down here. Yeah.
Okay, so this ruching is just gathered all along, and then you
Right.
do have your welt cord again.
Right. So it just gives it a little extra detail. This is kind of the top of the line as far as headboards go. A lot of people want to do something simpler, which we can also do. But yeah, we can do headboards. We can build ottomans to your specifications. Basically, if you can send a picture of something that you like in headboard, ottoman, small pieces like that, we can make it happen for you.
Awesome.
So,
And we can probably just lean this back here.
okay.
And then lastly, nail head trim. We
Nail
haven't
head
talked about
trim.
this.
We have not talked about this, but there's many options for nail heads as well. Some pieces that we get in currently have nail heads, and a lot of people think that the nails can be reused on a piece, but that is not
No.
possible. Typically, they get bent up taking them out. So if you want to replace nail heads, we can typically find one that matches what you've had, or you can branch out and go in a new direction.
Okay, well, Ashley, we need to wrap up now, and I thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
spending this time with us and helping inform people.
Yeah, it's been great.
Any questions that you have about reupholstering, Ashley or any of the other people at Joe Ellis can help you. And they're open Monday through Friday.
We're Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, and we have an extremely knowledgeable staff and a great workroom. So yeah, bring your projects in. We'll be glad to help you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Susan.